One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Good morning, my name is Paul Healy. I'm a resident here in town. I'm the newest member of the Board of Selectmen here. I've been asked to speak as to the merits of the swap shop and the value of recycling. Just by way of background, when recycling first started in this town in the 70s, I was a teenager and worked at the dump. Back then, people would show up, and many of you may know that that was a big sand pit, and the hole that we would throw our trash into was as deep as the hill that is now capped and sitting idly was high. Very simple, but there was an initiative to recycle bottles, brown, green, and clear, cans, aluminum, and newspaper. It was primitive. I worked on the weekend helping the residents sort their bottles and cans. It was strictly voluntary at that point in time, but as you can see over time, it's no longer the dump, it's a transfer station, and recycling does cut down on the cost that the town absorbs taking its waste down to Rochester at CMAS. One of the things that I always find a bit of a head scratcher, frankly, is that when I go to dump bottles, non-returnable, into the dumpster in the bin, there's a ton of returnable bottles in there, and I just wondered to myself, why are people throwing away money? We have the provision to reclaim those returnable bottles. We should take advantage of it. The swap shop, I think that's a great idea. I've dropped stuff off there. I've picked stuff up there. I think it's a great spot. I think if people are fair about it, sometimes rules have to be made so somebody doesn't camp out there and just pick off the good stuff as it comes in. But in the main, I think it's a great thing. There are some circulation issues. I put on my planning board hat on that one because I think that it's a work in progress. The planning board years ago looked at a plan with respect to the recycling configuration, and that, as we know, it's a limited area up at the dump, so it's something that we'll continue to work on. But I'd encourage everybody who uses the transfer facility, I still call it the dump, to recycle, and if you have something good that's too good to throw away, share it with one of your fellow residents, and they'll do the same with you. There's a lot of generous people in this town, and sometimes you really see that come to fore at the swap pile. It's also a good place to see people and shoot the breeze, so I'd encourage people to do that.
Hi there, I'm Irma Lauder, and this is my husband Tally. and we're going to take you on a tour of Hingham's transfer station and show you a little bit about recycling. And recycling is very important to the community for many reasons. First off, it's the right thing to do. It's a very New England thing. Use it, reuse it, share it, and repurpose it. But also it saves the town $82 a ton on taking our trash down to CMAS. We spend about $500,000, give or take, a year disposing of trash, and anything that we can put into the recycling will save money for the town. Also, I want to right up front give a lot of credit to Randy Sylvester, who I first went on the Capital Outlay Committee in 2002, and that's where I first met Randy. He is very much responsible for all of the different kinds of recycling that you're going to see here today, and there's some really amazing things that you can recycle. So let's start here. This is an Eagle Scout project, and if you notice all the signs, but especially this on the different kinds of cardboard here that you can recycle. And if you read all the signs, the different kinds of plastics, paper, and cardboard, and then we're going to take you on a tour of some bins. So let's start with, we're going to recycle cardboard today. And cardboard is the wavy stuff that comes in boxes, and also you might ask, why is it inside? Well, if you've ever seen a mushy pile of cardboard that has gone through a rainstorm, you'll understand. And our vendors that pick up the cardboard require it to be baled and dry. So let's go now to plastics. And here is, again, as part of the Eagle Scout project, all the different kinds of plastic containers that you can recycle. And we're going to show you how we do that at our house. And we set up a place in our garage with just different kinds of like large plastic bags to contain them, and then come here and dump them. Two things you should know. The lids to plastic bottles are now able to be recycled. And also the amounts of uses that they're finding for recycled plastic is amazing. And I'll give you the latest example that we were quite surprised at. I finished a quilt top, and please, no applause, it only took like 3 years. And we went to buy batting for the quilt. And lo and behold, they are now making batting for quilts out of recycled plastic containers. So let's watch Tally pitch our plastic.
So we collect it all in just a big plastic bag.
How easy is that? So no excuses, anybody. Just set up a little container in your garage or wherever. The other thing right now, please help the older citizens that live near you who perhaps can't get to the dump and perhaps don't have the space where they can set up recycling areas. It's worth it, and it really makes them feel good, and bring it to the dump yourself. This is a specialty area for 3 different things. Your mercury containing devices, which also include all of the fluorescent bulbs and the new light bulbs that are out today need to be recycled here, not in the glass. Also sharps, the needles, your rechargeable batteries, they have to be recycled specially because they do contain some hazardous materials. So here's your couple different areas for specialty items. Now let's go to the common stuff, glass, cans, and paper. Here we have examples of everything. Again, it's very easy. Take the lids off, crush them if you can. Set up we take a pail. We don't use that much canned material. And then we just bring them to the dump, and here it is. And off it goes. One thing I did forget to mention is down in the bottle area for redeemable cans and bottles. Any youth and community group can sign up to get the proceeds and donate a certain number of community hours, community service hours, and you'll get the proceeds from the bottles and cans that are redeemable. And that's a good deal. All right, let's go to my favorite area, glass. We have glass and bottles, and at one time you had to separate your clear glass from your colored glass. Do you want to come on?
Sorry.
Another contributor. But today, you can put all of your glass into one bin and it gets crushed, and it's quite a process if you see what happens to it when it leaves us. So,
Sorry.
no, don't say sorry, that's good. Okay. Want to do it? In it goes. And again, all we do, we set up a crate in the garage, and as the bottles and cans are emptied, they go right out there. Again, take the top off and take any metal off the lid. Okay, we have the different kinds of paper. Again, part of our Eagle Scout project that you can recycle. And the interesting thing is egg crates are here, your cereal boxes, juice boxes that are kind of wax coated are now recyclable. Just remember to unscrew the plastic cap and toss that in your plastic area. So what we do at home is, as you can see, we have a bin that newspapers go in, and then right where we sort the mail, we put anywhere in the house where there's all kinds of paper, we take a shirt bag that you get at the cleaners, and as you're sorting the mail, we just pitch the junk right in there. The other thing you can do to a form of recycling by stopping junk mail is go to your post office and fill out a card that then goes to the Direct Marketing Association, which will stop catalogs and direct marketing. Won't stop it completely, but it will at least minimize the amount you're getting. And if you don't want the catalogs and the junk mail, call the businesses and say, take me off your list. They have to do that. So paper goes in here, and it's real easy. Just dump it. You can bring your paper out of your shredding machines and dump it in here as well.
So bring the bag.
Bring the bag. So watch how easy this is.
This is the whole bag.
Oh yeah? And then the bins go home and they get refilled. Okay, now comes the fun stuff. If you look up the hill, this is where you take all of your brush and leaves, and you need to kind of separate them a little bit, but what Hingham is doing now, thanks to Randy, is they're turning it all into compost, and it's available to the residents, but you've got to come and take it away yourself, and whatever is excess gets sold. So it is a definite revenue generator, and it's just up the hill. And this is so nice if you remember what it looked like when it was a dump. And I still call it a dump because I grew up in a big city and we didn't have one, and this is pretty neat. I kind of like this place. And over here is our swap shop, which Tally does not let me go to because I tend to bring home more than we take. And my best story for the swap shop is some years ago, Tally brought a number of things from the house to the swap shop. Came home, told me to close my eyes and open my hand, and I'm thinking, is it an animal? And what he put in my hand is he found a perfect Hummel at the swap shop. And my sister collects them, so she was quite delighted, and she still to this day does not believe the story that it was found at the swap shop. So please support the swap shop. Goods in good condition that could be used by somebody else, please bring them here. And I know people like to brag about what they find, as I've just done. Okay, one more stop on our tour of the transfer station. We have a number of bins where you can recycle textiles, and that includes sheets, towels, bedspreads, draperies, and all manner of clothing. But I would also ask you to give consideration to some of the food banks that have clothing areas, also Wellspring that does collect good clothing in very good shape so that it can be resold to people that are less fortunate and can't afford. But here is the last stop. If you're wondering what to do with those sheets and towels that you're going to use one more time, we have a bunch of those. Bring them here, they'll go to good use. The town gets paid for by the pound, or by the ton, and then by the pound, and then by the ton. And it's amazing how quickly all of that adds up. So don't throw it away, repurpose it. Our final stop today, after all the recycling, this is where the trash goes. This is where everything that doesn't go anywhere else And if you don't have any bulky items that would go up back there, and you have to have a special permit for that, for couches, chairs, stuff like that, is the trash compactors. So let's see what the two of us generated in pure trash. Okay, ta-da! That's it. And in it goes, and that's it. So we've recycled as much as the two of us possibly can, and just that little bit goes into the trash compactors. So I challenge everybody in Hingham, do your best, recycle, or as Tally suggested, try not to even generate the waste by either not using the plastic bags from the grocery stores or going to the post office, sign up for No, I Don't Want Junk Mail, and let's help to make Hingham a better place.
My name is Sue Maloof. I've been a Hingham resident for 36 years, and welcome to Getting to Know Your Swap Shop. I'm a volunteer out there at the swap shop, and a number of us from the town have decided that this is an important feature of our transfer station. It's all part of the recycling process, and we're having a lot of fun with it, and we hope you will as well. We recycle everything here in Hingham. Some things don't belong in our bulk waste because they are still usable, and that is why we have the swap shop. You can come and drop things off and take things. We have a great return policy, no receipt necessary. Sometimes we have clearance sales, 2 for 1, but we always encourage people to take more than they think they want, because we have so much coming in. People are very good about bringing in things that they don't want anymore but are perfectly usable, so they don't end up in the bulk waste. So it's just another way of continuing the recycle cycle, if you will. The importance of recycling, we try to keep as much as possible out of a landfill. We're into recycling now for a couple of decades. More and more people are doing it, are agreeing with the process. We recycle everything else here in Hingham, so why not give it a second life or a third life or even a fourth life to some things. Just because you're redecorating doesn't mean what you're getting rid of is no good, and this way gives someone else a chance to redecorate with your items. I furnished a home in Florida 10 years ago with items from the swap shop, and lived very nicely with all of those things. So it is possible, yeah, and in this economy, almost necessary.
I'm Meg Robbins, and I'm a member of the SWAP volunteer team here in Hingham, and welcome to the swap shop. You can see behind me all kinds of good, clean items that have been donated because they're still useful. That has helped the Hingham waste system avoid tons and tons of garbage that has been donated here and not entered into the waste stream. In spring and summer, our open hours are on Thursday and Friday from 10 to 2, and on Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 3. We are really very dependent on the availability of volunteers. We need volunteers, and we're hoping that more people will sign up to be part of the team. Also, it is weather dependent. If it is raining, snowing, the volunteers and the committee have the right to keep the closed sign out. Also, DPW reserves the right to clear everything out in case of severe weather. For safety, state law requires that we not take mattresses and TVs, toxins, or alcohol. We also, here in Hingham, for safety, do not take unframed glass or mirrors, overly upholstered bulky chairs, because we really don't have a way to shelter them from inclement weather. Volunteers work 2-hour shifts, and you work really when you are available to work. There's a volunteer coordinator, Barbara McMullen, who schedules the shifts every month. If you can't work a particular shift, she will try to find someone to replace you at that shift. Volunteers, when they do work, try to keep the crowds moving, tried to keep the items organized, and also check to be sure that this use and privilege is available to Hingham citizens only. So we check for those current transfer station stickers. What I like best is seeing the massive material get into new hands, have a new life, and not be included in the waste stream, which saves Hingham a great deal of money in tonnage not sent out to Rochester to see Mass. I also like working with the team of volunteers. Great fun. And another benefit is you see everybody you know in town, and you get to meet those you don't know while you're here. So grab a friend and join the team.